Morgado and Camara, the two Brazilians, come off the line and they will go down the tram lines. Is there going to be a clean start? Yes, it is. We're racing, and already Coluccio is assisting Morgado to the first corner. No problems at all for them to hold the inside line. And up the inside, Coluccio is going to try and snatch it from Morgado. He can't quite get alongside. Now he does, and snatches the way through. A little bit of a love tap from the two of them. And round the outside, Coluccio is going to keep his second position. Great comeback as a spin from the 143. That is unfortunate for Gerard G. So G has had a problem there on the opening lap. Morgado comes out wide of turn 5. Everybody trying to knit their way through without incident. And down the straight, is Coluccio going to have a run at Morgado? How did he save second place? That's great driving from Coluccio.
Great driving, and he's on his way to first, certainly, with turn number 9 coming up on the inside, just before the breaking point. There he goes through. Watch out for Motors Morgado, who fights back. They take first position again, and Luigi Coluccio in the process might actually lose more than second with Rafael Camara, who was very, very close outside of turn number 9 to make up a position as well. Oh, it seems to be very, very slippery on the way to turn number 10, just outside, just behind the podium, sorry. Watch out for Coluccio, because he's lining himself up, maybe trying to go around the outside, certainly, of Matheus Morgado in the last turn. We've seen Rafael Camara do that a couple of times 2 weeks ago for the preparation race around the outside of that particular corner. It's not happening quite yet. One lap completed, and the battle is on. Coluccio in second. He likes those conditions, even though it's from Italy. Italy, the land of sun, of course, while Belgium is very much like Britain, the home of rain. But it doesn't seem to bother Luigi Coluccio that much, as Camara is really on a very, very strong pace. Just 1/10 between those two, and Morgado is really trying to get some grip outside of the turn. But and unlike Coluccio, who's going around the inside, clipping the curb to shut all the doors, because Camara is behind and is going to go around the inside on his way to turn number 6. Can he actually make it through? That's going to be very tight indeed, and Coluccio is forced on the outside and up a position for Camara. What a move.
Amazing racecraft. Oh, and up the inside, Joe Turney's trying to get through on the inside, and he's got there in a spin from Turney. Turney spins, and so does Bertolatti. The rest of the field has to avoid them, and I think Turney's been clouted as he comes through. Surely Turney has got damage, so is Bertolatti, and another one has spun with them there. That's the 187 that's gone around in with them. I'm afraid that's Magnus Tekilson. So big problems there then on the opening heat for the OK Seniors as Turney spins. And that is one of the Birilards that's gone around. That is Ismakuja Akhmadkhodjiav. So the Uzbekistani has gone off there. So what a problem for Ismakuja Akhmadkhodjiav. There he is. He spun the kart, and he seems to feel that there was some kind of contact by the look of it. But he's out of the race, a shame, and it looks like there might be an issue there for Ruben Moya. The 110, I do believe, has got an issue with the front fairing, and that's not a massive surprise in a field like this. There goes Lars van Vark up the inside. He takes the position. We got two more karts that have come off there at turn 1. One more kart that's come off at turn 1. Can't quite make out who that is. Joe Turney has got going again. He is down at the back of the field. 160. There it is, the 160. So that's Christian Lurven. So Christian Lurven in trouble, trying to get going again. Back to the front, and Camara takes the lead from Morgado.
What a start of the race that is, and Camara up the positions, taking the lead for the first time this weekend. Matheus Morgado, can he actually keep up the pace and stay on the tail of the Brazilian driver, his fellow countryman? That's going to be Brazil against Brazil into this first qualifying heat of the weekend in the senior class. And while they're battling, those two are really pulling away from Bo Eyemans. Actually, in the meantime, beautiful race from one of the wild cards on this track, the 198. Bo Eyemans from the Netherlands, actually, who made his way up to third. As we're going to have a quick look at the classification. Look out for actually a Dutch driver, Eyemans in third, actually, who got past Luigi Coluccio. And further back, we have the battle between Morgan Porter and Norton Adriansen, the 104 of CV Performance Group. Porter really doing a good job at the moment, as he's climbing, you'll never believe this, 12 positions. 12 positions made up by Morgan Porter, and as a result, confirmation of his pace is the fastest on track in 62.17. 12 positions made up to a 5th place, and maybe some more coming up, because we're only getting started.
Well, Morgan Porter has always loved the challenge of rain. He loves getting himself stuck in and battling for positions. Luigi Coluccio is the next target for him to overtake. I'm baffled that Coluccio is still in the top 5 after all of the flotsam and jetsam he's had to dodge in the opening tours. What a disaster for Joe Turney. He now finds himself in 25th position, 24th now as Christian Leuven retires. So a big problem for Joe Turney, but he does not give up. He does not throw in the towel. He always pushes and tries to get himself back. Look at Kamara. He's just disappeared in front of Matheus Morgado. And now the Brazilian, Matheus Morgado in the Birilat, is falling into the clutches of Bo Heymans, with Coluccio and Morgan Porter closing up on them as well. So Morgado, the Birilat setup, just doesn't seem to have a candle to the Kart Republic off the turn. And that is Andrea Kimi Antonelli battling away there with Ruben Moya. So Moya gets through. Antonelli is having a real disaster of a weekend so far. It's just not going his way.
No, he's nowhere to be seen, unfortunately, for Antonelli, one of the fastest drivers though in this field. And watch out, because Coluccio is under rising pressure right now from Morgan Porter. Porter might want to try and run the inside of last turn. He goes through, beautifully made from Morgan Porter into this particular corner, and Boy Hermans in the meantime is arresting Matheus Morgado, for second place. And beautiful to see from Hermans, the wild card clipping the curb in the inside for second place before turn number 9. So Bo Hermans from the PDB Racing team, a familiar name in karting world, of course, for Peter the Brain. And it's good to see that one of the wild cards, it's so early in the weekend, being able to tackle the expected favorites of this class. So good job from Bo Hermans. The key thing for him now is try to pull away from Morgado, because Morgan Porter has a very strong pace behind, and he was able to really let Coluccio behind for a couple of meters. There he goes!
See, Porter went for the inside. Morgado was trying to defend the inside line, but he started to do it too late. He suddenly realised that Porter was there, had to bail out of the defensive swing, and now he's going to try and come back at Porter, but Porter's got such better handle on the wet conditions situation here. So Bo Heymans and Morgan Porter absolutely storming their way around the course. They've got time as well to catch up to Rafael Kamara, and they are lapping the circuit faster. They were both at least half a second quicker last time around, so a really interesting battle. They can do 112s in the same sort of have we had an issue?
Yeah, one driver off actually. It was very on the corner of the picture, but on his way to turn number 5, not to be seen, but unfortunately
it's one of the Paralins. It's one of the Paralins that's dropping back. So that's a good spot there, actually. I couldn't quite make out who it was, but certainly somebody. I think it's Jesse Cadascado. Jesse Cadascado's had an off, and he's done a personal, but he's done the fastest first sector of the entire race, as we got these two battling for second place now. Heymans and Porter battling away, absolutely tooth and nail, these two. Porter trying to get the switch back on Heymans, runs alongside him, can use the outside line, backs off the throttle, cuts back in across, and he's going to sweep by Morgan Porter. Absolutely beautiful. He backs out of the corner, gets himself more speed and traction, and storms by on the exit. Amazing from Porter.
And that's position number 15, made up by Morgan Porter. He just said actually to Bo Heymans, let's not fight anymore. We're halfway through this race. We're all the way down from Rafael Kamara. There might be no chance at all for them to catch up with the Brazilian, but still, let's not take any risk. Let's not take each other off, because the conditions are still very much slippery, actually. The drivers have to battle through each corner to keep their line. But Morgan Porter did the job. He's in second. Bo Heymans needs to stay on his tail and try not to take too many risks. But of course, those drivers are very much competitors, and even though you make the sign saying calm down, let's stay together, they won't listen that much. So let's see what's going to happen. But Bo Heymans, a very good pace. But what about Morgan Porter? He loves those conditions, as you said. He was very, very competitive as well 2 weeks ago for Champions, the preparation race, and once again he confirms how talented and how fast he is on this track.
I love the communication between these drivers when they're behind the wheel. It's easy for you to tap the helmet and say work with me, but I want to win this race as much as you do, and you've just had me. So fabulous little bit of badinage between those two in kart, as now Coluccio hustling Morgado. Here's Brando Badua in P6, running in front of Andreasen and Van Vark. And Brando Badua, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago in the preparation race was very fast indeed. So Brando Badua loving these conditions, and it seems that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Luca Badua was always incredibly good in the wet, and so Brando Badua following in that example. Lars Van Vark sweeps through on the inside, but round the outside again, Norton Andreasen gets the traction. That's the kind of incredible battle and sweeping gestures you can make in the wet. You don't just get panicky, you don't just let the fact that the guy's got past you, you stick to your guns, you hold your line. Look, two different approaches. Whoa. Andreasen goes deep, Van Vark cuts across, but Andreasen's got on the throttle earlier, so he can get him back again. Two completely different schools of thought. Van Vark now trying to hold the brake round the outside. He's going to run out of road. Well done, Andreasen. Holds the line on the inside. Oh, and that is the CRG. Is that Moya? It is. It's Ruben Moya.
Yes, it is.
Ruben Moya's gone into the barriers. What a shame for the Spaniard.
Yeah, he was on his way to potential top 10, running in 13, and he just lost it completely. Let's try to see where that is. This is a yellow flag on turn number 5, actually, unfortunately, for Ruben Moya, who's trying to get back on track and get his engine going again. But unfortunately, it's always easier said than done. In the meantime, watch out for this battle on your screen with Matheus Morgado and Luigi Coluccio split by just nothing on their way to the start-finish straight. This is a battle for 4th place, as the guys have completed lap number 9. We're getting near the checkered flag, and Morgado against Coluccio in 4th and 5th respectively, as Camara on your picture has a 2-second lead on Morgan Porter. Quite incredibly, actually, Porter was able to decrease his gap for 1.3 seconds in just a matter of a few laps. So that gives you a good impression of how fast he is in those conditions.
Yeah, Porter's currently going half a second a lap quicker than the race leader, Rafael Camara. So he's got 4 laps to take down that gap from 2 seconds to the race victory. He could get that done. He has got to keep that up. He's got to find half a second for the next 3 laps consistently to be right on his tail. Then he can start to make some slingshot moves. So Porter is just doing what he needs to do, just eking that time back, and this could be a bit of a last gasp finish here for Morgan Porter to close up. Look, the gap is down already to 1.6, so Porter is absolutely slashing the gap between himself and Rafael Camara. He's got to be so gentle on the approach to the final corner. Here he is, Morgan Porter. He's already got half a second made up in this first 2 sectors alone, so Porter is really charging on Rafael Chaves Camara. Down to 1.3, look at that, the gap really is coming down. Porter is absolutely eating up the road, so he's made up 7/10 of a second on that lap alone. And you can see just on the racing line, there's a little bit of grass that's been kicked up. Drivers still heading off the circuit, a little bit of mud and all sorts of dirt on the circuit, so drivers still coming off at various points on the course and getting going again. But Morgan Porter, look, he's barely even twitching the steering wheel. He's so balanced. He knows where the kart is going to turn in. He's so smooth. He balances the kart. Look, it's on the edge of getting out of control. It's teetering on the edge, dancing with the limits of what the kart can do. But that's the way Porter likes it. He loves to be riding the rhythm of what the kart is doing. It's on the ragged edge of getting sideways and out of control. But Porter knows just when to flip the throttle, just when to get the wheel spin down to a decent level. He's absolutely in command of this. And look, he's already down to 8/10 of a second. He's going to have him. He's going to get there.
Yeah, one more lap, and maybe this is business done already for Morgan Porter. Such a shame that he actually had to start from so far further back on the grid. A17 on the starting grid is going to be the case for all his qualifying heats. So that means he's going to have to push like never before to climb up the stairs of the field as much as he can. But he seems to have the pace quite clearly. And watch out, because Camara was controlling. I think he was controlling the race so far, not taking too much risk and keeping the pace under control. But right now he's going to have to shut all the doors and give everything that he has, because Porter is on a mission and he sees his prey. And he has still quite some time, less than 2 laps to go before the checkered flag. And watch out for Porter going around the outside of both of them, with Camara hoping to have a better exit outside of turn number 5 onto the motorway straight. Porter is going through in turn number 6, the braking zone. Yes, he does. Beautifully made. And no defensive driving from Camara. He saw that coming, actually. There was no point, at least too much fighting at such a early point in the weekend. It's better maybe to lose a victory but keep a second place than just take each other off in that particular procedure.
The second that Porter, he's tapping his helmet to Camara, just think sensibly. That isn't even work with me now. That's, I've got you. And you know I've got you. I've absolutely had this race. Brilliant run from Morgan Porter. Just that little bit of a gesture to Rafael Camara. I'm amazed that he actually caught him in 2 laps when he needed to catch him in 4.
Impressive.
That's very impressive indeed from Morgan Porter. He goes into the final lap now, and what a run from Morgan Porter. Such a stunning comeback. Is there enough time for Bo Heymans to catch Rafael Camara on the final lap? I would think possibly not, because Camara's lap times are reasonably similar to Bo Heymans. Heymans has gained some big time on the last lap, though, to be fair. A 1:12.1 compared to a 1:13.3. So Heymans could snatch second at the final lap as well here. Porter doing a great job out front. And this is an absolutely supreme effort. Look, he's just dropped Camara. Absolutely in command of everything here, Morgan Porter. From 18th on the starting grid, 17th, sorry, on the starting grid. He has fought his way back, and this is what the rain can do. It's the ultimate leveler. The rain brings out the star drivers. Cream always rises to the top of the coffee cup. And this is an absolutely masterclass display for Morgan Porter. He comes through the final couple of corners now, having made up 8/10 of a second per lap in the previous 2 laps on Rafael Kamara, and he's going to be 2 seconds clear of him at the finish line. That is absolutely monstrous as Morgan Porter takes the victory in magnificent style. He's never going to fight for a harder qualifying heat than that one. From 17th on the grid to the victory, Morgan Porter will be very delighted with that one. If you could hang live stream footage on your mantelpiece, this would be up there for Morgan Porter. Terrific, absolutely terrific racing. And that's such a smooth drive from such a seasoned campaigner. It's amazing when Morgan Porter comes to town. You know you've been beaten by the best on his day. And an excellent run. 1.8 seconds clear of Rafael Kamara. He was 3 seconds back from him about 4 laps ago. That is astonishing. So a great run from Morgan Porter. Rafael Kamara second from Bo Heijmans and Matthias Morgato. Luigi Coluccio and Lars van Vark doing well in P6 from Brando Badua and Yannick de Brabanda. Giuliano Hodsem and Norton Andreasen from Christian Ho and Riccardo Gratia. Andrea Kimi Antonelli down in 13th. Herolin Nerodini and Vincent Andronaco from Jessica Riscado, Gianni Andrezzani and Emili Koivisto. Then it's Warren Kim from Rafael Modanese and Victoria Blokina, Kuba Rashki, Joe Turney and Ruben Moya. The retirements, Christian Loven, Ismakuja Ahmed Kodjiav, Nicholas Pertalati and Magnus Tikildsen. We also on the first lap lost the Hong Kong star Gerard Ji racing under the Chinese flag.